Hello and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to video 2 of this PrepTober series. And this one today I think is a really important one for some of us. For most majority authors, I would think it's, if you're a creative person, this is important. But this is PrepTober video number 2, Finding Inspiration. We can find it in various different places through a variety of different things. But one thing that inspiration can do is leave or flee or abandon you for a moment or two. Sadly, as a writer, you can't rely on your DM or bard to give you inspiration. You kind of have to figure it out for yourself. What motivates you, what gets your heart pumping, what gets your mind churning. And so many times our days are spent with either a ridiculous level of inspiration where everything is perfect and everything is coming together and you feel like you're on cloud 9, so to speak. And then there are days where inspiration vanishes and is nowhere to be found, and you cry and you head desk yourself into oblivion. These are a few different things that I use to motivate myself whenever I feel like I'm having a problem or I have hit a slump. Quick note, I am doing these in kind of a mass succession, so don't worry, I do shower and have different clothes other than just this shirt. These are just going to be done boom, 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 one after the other, because this is how my schedule allows it. So I do take care of myself. Moving on. So the first place that I have found amazing inspiration this past year, and has literally saved my writing career and my soul, has been AuthorTube. And the reason being is I don't feel alone. I get motivated from watching people talk about their experiences or what they're getting hung up on. So I don't feel alone, and I feel motivated to be like, yes, it isn't just me. This happens to all writers. Duh. I should know this by now. And I just love the community. I love the personalities on YouTube, the AuthorTube channels. Some of them are, really good at giving advice and really inspirational. And some of them are quirky and fun and nerdy. And I'm just like, you are my people. And I wish I could just hug you all. But I am one person in front of a camera, so I can't. Number 2 thing that I listen to when I am stuck is podcasts. I have also discovered podcasts this year. I like documentaries and things of that sort. So podcasts are just documentaries or little infos without pictures, so to speak. So I really, really like turning on the Writing Excuses podcast, because usually when I'm needing to turn to the Writing Excuses podcast, it's because I'm giving myself excuses and I need to find a certain podcast that is in the same vein of what is happening to me. Like, okay, I do not want to write this battle scene because it's hard for me, because I feel like I need to go research 1,000,001 movies to do this properly, to make sure I do a cavalry charge properly. And it's really great because there's actual episodes of Writing Excuses where they talk about different scenes, how to play out battles, things of that sort, what they use. So it's really great to be able to immediately jump to a tool or resource to be able to figure it out right then and there and give you kind of inspiration and the drive to be like, yes, oh my gosh, that's the one trigger word that I needed, and thank you. And you turn it off, or you turn it down lower in the background, and you start writing. The number 1 thing for me, though, whenever I write, is I must have music. I have a writing playlist for a multitude of scenes/moods. So if you go to my YouTube channel under my playlists, you will see my writing playlist for general writing. Those are all of the music, tracks, instrumentals, ambience, that sort of thing that I use for really focusing. And sometimes it's something just as simple as listening to rain on a window and hearing fire in the hearth crackling and somebody turning the page or scribing, you know, with an ink pen, or like hubbub in the background of a hushed, you know, crowded cafe, or even the tumbling of leaves they go by in the autumn. I really find that naturescapes, nature sounds really, really, really helps put me into the mindset. And I have everything from cyberpunk to fantasy epic tracks. Like, I love Two Steps from Hell. They're amazing. You want to write some good fantasy scenes to that, they're the best. And also, one of the things I will say is instrumental is better for me to listen to than words, because when I listen to music with lyrics, I find myself accidentally writing certain words into the scene that I'm writing because I'm just focusing on the lyrics and I need to be focused on my words. So, music is a huge number one thing for me. It's huge. I have a really hard time writing in silence. It's just how it is. Sometimes I like to take a break during the day, or even if I'm not really feeling it, I'll take a break and I will read, because sometimes all I need is a few chapters with a good book that I'm reading, or my favorite fantasy book that I know I can go back to and call back to and just absorb that inspiration from that book or from that place. And you also get to see good words from a great author on the page. And you can pull inspiration, not copying or, you know, trying to use their voice as your own, but just so you can see good sentence structure, good grammar, the uses of words that you might not understand. So you go look it up in a dictionary, using different words to describe things. So you going more to your thesaurus to kind of brighten up and liven up your language or your dialogue. And it will so enhance it. And sometimes I find myself just needing that break, just needing to go sit down with a good book and relax and get myself immersed in a world that isn't mine, that I love, that I can go back to anytime I want, and just enjoy the characters that are there on the page. And then we have the, oh my gosh, I don't think I can keep writing anymore tonight, but I need to find something to motivate me, to give me inspiration. And that is when I go to TV shows or documentaries, because I'm a nerd. If I am desperate and I'm stuck, I will say, fine, I'm gonna go rewatch a show that I know will always give me inspiration, that will get my mind turning, or that the visuals of the setting or the costumes or the period of the time and the history of the time will get my mind back into that working mode. The two shows that do that for me are Tudors and Game of Thrones, but also The Crown, which is coming back November 17th. I'm so excited. And I have watched the first season of Downton Abbey. Don't judge me. I love it. I lie. I have watched the first season of Downton Abbey and popcorned around the second and the third season, and I won't spoil it, but there was somebody on the show that I absolutely adored, and they're gone now, and it made me really sad, so I had a hard time moving on without them, because I was like, But anywho, I do intend to watch the series, and I do intend to watch the movie, so I'm with you there. A movie that always inspires me, which is very strange, is P.S. I Love You. It's anyone who knows P.S. I Love You. It was a book first, then it was turned to this amazing, cute movie with Hilary Swank and Gerard Butler. And I love that movie because it's about Holly finding herself again after the loss of her husband. And it's basically, it's her creativity that was stifled by the world. And to me, her journey that her husband takes her on, even from the grave, is beautiful and inspiring. And it always puts me in the mood to create. My business is to create, and that is literally my motto that I take from Blake in my life, is my business is to create. That is why I am here. And so that movie and that book really does speak to me, very, very much so. And then there were the times where I don't want to do anything, where I feel drained, mentally exhausted, and I'm just exhausted. Maybe my body's tired, maybe my brain is just as tired. So I will go and sit my butt down for 30 minutes in complete silence. Or I will have on like naturescapes, like a babbling brook and birds chirping or something like that. And it is so hard for me to sit in silence or sit down for a long period of time doing anything in general, but I do find that sometimes you just need time alone with your thoughts. You need time alone to process through your thoughts. And sometimes you get amazing ideas when you sit alone with your thoughts. And it also is something that I found that's helpful for sitting alone at least 30 minutes a day with your thoughts, is that you get to know yourself better. You get to know your mind, your way of thinking, your creativity, issues that you've been having. That way when you go to, and I'm not talking about meditating, like not meditating at all, just sitting and letting your thoughts flood, letting your thoughts come to you, listening to yourself inside your mind, and being comfortable with who you are as a person and who you are as a writer. And sometimes I find that this helps me, because before bed, I will sit there for a half an hour to 45 minutes before I can even sleep, because my mind is racing, because I haven't shut it down. And sometimes I found just having that 30 minutes a day of just sitting and thinking by myself really negates that at night, because I've already done it. My brain doesn't have anything more to work out. And I can get some pretty good ideas and work out some plot holes or structure issues that I've been having. Go outside. I know. My glass says I'm outdoorsy. I drink wine from the porch, which is true. When I was a kid, I used to show horses, and I used to be a barn kid, and I loved to get dirty, and I loved riding, and I went to school for that, for horses, and I worked out in the equine industry in Kentucky with thoroughbred racehorses. So I liked being outdoors, but when I moved down further south, things outside, it's hot. B, they can kill you, like spiders down here and snakes down here. They're not like up in New York where I'm from,
where it's like, oh, there's a daddy long legs. It's like,
hey, there's a brown recluse or a tarantula.
or oh look, there's a cute garden snake. Oh no, that's a copperhead or a rattle. So because I've moved to a place that is basically the Australia of the United States, and it is hotter than Hades, I really enjoy going up to New York to visit my family, because I am able to just sit on my parents' back porch that is screened in and enjoy the water, not the water, but the wind coming off of the river. That we live on a really tall hill, and my aunt and uncle own a winery, so sometimes we go over there and we just sip wine on the porch and relax and look over the vineyard. And then there are times when I go down to the town that I grew up loving so much, that so much of my family is just genetically attached to, just to see the castle, Bolt Castle in the distance, and to see the hubbub of the town, and to hear laughter, and to see people that I haven't seen in years come back home, because the river's just in our blood. And no matter how far away you get from the river, like, it makes me tear up, because no matter how far away you get from the river, you know you were born and raised on this water and in a small town on a bay, but you just have to go back because the river just calls you back every single year. And that is a place that I hold so dear to my heart, and I have to go back every year to see family, because that's really important to me, but also to get that hit of nostalgia and memories and just soul care. Like, it's really, being on the water and being in the river for me is just like taking care of my soul. It's a great way for me to shut down all social media, shut down my phone, everything creatively, except for just me in the water, and I can just, it's my therapy. So if you have a place like that for you, whether it be in the woods, out in a barn with animals, or in a field, or on your porch, or on a beach, do it, because it is so good for your soul. It is so good for your mind, and your brain and your creative wells will so thank you for it.
bonus tip.
And I say bonus. Alcohol. Now, I'm not endorsing drinking and writing at the same time. And I'm not saying drink enough to get drunk. Drink enough to get a little bit tipsy. And drink responsibly. I know that a lot of author tubers do like drinking challenges, and I certainly want to do a drinking challenge. I think it would be super fun to do. But I have found with certain scenes, like sex scenes or romance scenes, sometimes with me in my mind, it's hard for me to do that. So having a glass of wine and relaxing and thinking through the scene, and you know, the little wormies start to happen, and you start to loosen up a little bit, it helps. I only rarely do this. I do not do it all the time. I sometimes do it if I have a sex scene that I want to be really spicy and steamy. I'm like, it's my wine night and I will edit later. We're gonna Hemingway this. And I only do it on weekends and usually only once a weekend, because again, I don't drink to get drunk. I just like to give myself a little bit of loosey-goosey and go have fun writing with the page and let my characters have a little fun at the same time. So, cheers. If you have a problem with alcohol, do not do this. If you're uncomfortable with it, don't do it. I'm not endorsing this. I'm just saying this is a bonus idea for some of us who have a little bit awkward time getting into the sex scenes or the romance scenes. It helps. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. I know that there are 1,000,001 avenues of finding inspiration. These are just a few of the ones that I find work for me. So if you like this kind of content, click that subscribe button, click the notification bell so you never miss a video, and I will be back in a PrepTober video very soon, and one love, you guys.